As you may have heard, there was a little bit of excitement involving tornadoes the other night. And I know the burning question that's been plaguing everybody's mind is, how's Tiki Man? Well, Tiki Man's fine. Matter of fact, Tiki Man's the only thing I managed to salvage from my vehicle. Anyway, I just tried to order a pizza. Now, I'm not a small business owner, but from a consumer's point of view, I know what it takes to have a successful business. At least from the perspective of a consumer. Probably the most critical of necessities for the success of a small business would be the ability to communicate with potential customers. Probably want somebody, oh, I don't know, answering the phones who speaks English! Doy! Now, I don't want this to come off sounding racist or anything, but here in America we do speak English. Because that's the primary language used to conduct business in. That's the primary language used to communicate in. If you can't speak English, you can't communicate here in the United States of America. Wherever you're from, whether it's India, Mexico, Russia, Mars, if you're here in the United States of America, you are at a distinct disadvantage if you can't communicate, if you can't speak English. So, I mean, if you're a nuclear physicist in Russia, and you come to America and you can't speak the language, you're going to wind up making onion rings. It doesn't sound that complicated. It's a matter of fact, it makes pretty good sense to me. But this place I just tried to order a pizza from, people there don't speak English. You can't understand me and I can't understand him. Probably why this place is going to go out of business soon. And now a word on Arizona. Arizona just passed a new immigration law. And everybody's getting up in a tizzy about this. I mean, there's all kinds of protesters and people getting angry saying that Arizona's full of racists and whatnot. Okay, part of the police academy is learning how to read and interpret law. Because they don't have the time to teach the intricacies of every single law in the Arkansas State Criminal Law Book. They teach you how to read and interpret it yourself. So when you get into a situation out in the field with one of the more ambiguous laws, you'd be able to read it and apply it correctly and make the correct decision in the field. So I have been to school specifically to learn how to read law. Now, I read this law that Arizona passed, and I don't know why everybody's getting all mad and saying that it's like Nazi Germany or whatever. The law says, now if you boil away all the legalese and you look at it at its essence, the law makes illegal things illegal. I know, that sounds stupid, doesn't it? Being an illegal immigrant is illegal, hence the term illegal. So being an illegal immigrant is now illegal in the state of Arizona. Hello? It's kind of redundant. It's kind of redundant. It's kind of redundant. Now, when you immigrate from another country to the United States of America, you get something called a green card. After you go through this long process, which is, it's a rather long and monotonous process, you get a green card when you immigrate. Part of your immigration is that you keep that green card with you. So as documentation that you are in the country legally. So if you immigrate legally, you're required to have this documentation. Now, if you're born here in the United States of America, you're kind of required to carry documentation yourself. Like, for instance, if you're driving a vehicle and you get pulled over, even if you have an active driver's license, if you've been issued a driver's license, if you don't actually physically have it on your person, that is a ticketable offense. So you're required to carry papers if you're a U.S. citizen. If you immigrate, you're required to have papers to document that you are a legal citizen. If you immigrate illegally, you don't have those papers. So now the state of Arizona is giving patrol officers the same authority as Border Patrol officers. They didn't give them jackboots and swastikas. But you might say, well, Chris, you're not a Native American. Your ancestors immigrated here. And after all, America is a nation of immigrants. Okay, you could say that. It would be stupid, but you could say that. Where do we begin? Granted, if you go far enough back into my ancestry, you will find someone who was born in Europe and immigrated to the United States of America. However, they did so within the conventions and within the legal boundaries of the time. So yes, my ancestors did immigrate, but they did it legally. So your argument is invalid. But that's okay. I have a picture for just such an occasion. Don't you feel better?